All right, guys, welcome to the revolution. I'm gonna give you guys some updates on some ideas and wonderful things that you guys have done in a minute. But first, I wanted to give you a story that we promised you earlier on the Young Turks. It fits into the revolution because it's a story about how there are forces inside America trying to control American government on behalf of a different country, in this case, Israel. So let's do this story.
Epstein also had close ties to our own intelligence agencies and Israel's intelligence agencies. That's why there's so much effort in trying to stop this. And I do believe they'll try to stop it somewhere else. And that's going to backfire on them too.
I love that he finally said it. Yes, it's definitely Israel. We're going to show you here with a news story from Dropsite News that shows once again that Epstein was working with the Israelis. And so the mainstream media has been ignoring it, but he's a US congressman, so they're probably gonna have to address it. And if they're gonna address it, they're gonna probably do what Dana Bash did with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Are you saying that Israel was involved? That sounds conspiratorial. Yeah, because it was a literal conspiracy where Epstein was working behind the scenes to help Israel. So let's give you the facts and you'll see for yourself. So latest article from Dropsite, Jeffrey Epstein pursued Swiss Rothschild Bank to finance Israeli cyber weapons empire. Gee, I wonder if he was working with Israel. Okay, look, it's unfortunate that this bank happens to be called Rothschild because there is an actual conspiracy theory that is anti-Semitic about how the Rothschilds run the whole world. I think it's a comical theory, but in this case, it just happens to be a bank and a person with that same name. So the central figures here are Epstein, Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel, and this is hilarious, Baroness Ariane de Rothschild. We have a baroness who would also, of course, like to help Israel. And so she's the CEO of Edmond de Rothschild Group. That's an enormous Swiss private bank, okay? Epstein spent years trying to connect Barak and de Rothschild, and that's what the story's about. So they explain, in one note, Epstein passed along a tantalizing offer from de Rothschild to Barak. If Ehud wants to make serious money, he will have to build a relationship with me, take time so that we can truly understand one another. So now, the Baroness wants Israel to get cyber weapons, and now that's the former prime minister of Israel, so she's like, come here and I'll give you the money and then you could do this plot for us, but you have to get to know me first. Okay. Then they explained Barak asked for advice, deferring to Epstein's supposed expertise on women. He said, I'm ready, but I need your advice regarding how ladies is your forte. Not really. Young children that he's raping is his forte, but okay. According to Dropsite News, the purpose of connecting Rothschild and Barak was to secure financing for this. Quote, Barak's private communications showed discussions about a wide range of cyber weapons, concepts drawn from Israeli military research, inspired in part by the astonishing scope of US global surveillance apparatus revealed by NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden in 2013. Oh, great, the Israelis need more cyber weapons. And so you've got Epstein trying to arrange that with the former prime minister and the good Baroness, the Rothschild, okay? So there's, now by the way, to be clear, there's no evidence to confirm whether or not the Rothschild Bank actually directly financed the cyber weapon startup. So we don't know from the material that we have here. This is the leaked emails of Ehud Barak. These are part of the Hundala leaks, and they have been confirmed in parts by Dropsite News and the US government. So, but in October 2015, they explained the Rothschild negotiated a $25 million contract with Epstein's Southern Trust Company, the same entity Epstein used to fund Barak's intelligence-linked security startup, reporting Homeland Security known as Carbine earlier that year. So now that's interesting because here is an effort to fund Israel's cyber weapons, and Epstein is deeply involved in it, and he's getting money too. So people wondered, where did all of Epstein's money come from? Now, look, they probably came from a variety of different sources, but apparently some of it came to help procure cyber weapons for Israel. Now, since this is such a huge story, and Epstein is one of the largest stories, certainly of this administration, and maybe of any administration, and the mainstream press is reporting, oh, did Donald Trump do it? Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump is one of the people who might or might not have done it. He's the president of the United States, so I understand why you're paying a lot of attention to that. But we found out who he was working with. It was Israel. Do you want to pay attention to that at all? No, wait, don't say it. Don't say it. Cover it up for Israel. But we're objective. If you're objective, why are you trying to hide the news? That's super weird. Okay, so now they've published many other pieces as well. Dropsite News has about Epstein's links to the Israeli government and intelligence agencies, and we've told you about that. He was trying to get America to bomb Syria on behalf of Israel. Then he tried to get America to bomb Iran on behalf of Israel. He arranged a meeting with Vladimir Putin and Ehud Barak that Ehud Barak couldn't arrange. So he is more powerful than the former prime minister of Israel. He's powerful enough to get a meeting with Vladimir Putin anytime he wants. He was working with some of the top bankers, some of the countries in the world, and all of it in all of the emails are to help Israel. But mainstream media is like, what was the adage? Was it follow the propaganda, follow the husband, follow the money? Wait, it was follow the money, right? The journalism adage? No, don't follow the money. Don't follow it. Whatever you do, don't follow it. Okay, guys, we got it. You love Israel, but you're supposed to be American media. The way that they are so unbelievably biased is maddening, which leads us to the next part of the story. Meanwhile, the Washington Post editorial board is chiding Congress for voting to release the Epstein files. Gee, I wonder why the Washington Post editorial board cares. Why hide the Epstein files? No, please don't find out it's Israel. Please, shut up everybody. You're all anti-Semites. All of America is anti-Semites. Of course the children of America should be raped for Israel's advantage because, but if you say it, you're anti-Semites. No, bring your children, otherwise you're an anti-Semite. You have to allow them to do it. Anti-Semite, no, absurd. And stop saying that. It isn't about all Jews. It's about these particular guys who are not loyal to Jews overall. They're loyal to a country, Israel, a government, Israel. Okay, so, and the board did slam Donald Trump here for flip-flopping on this issue of it, whether they should be unveiled. They didn't want him to flip-flop. They wanted him to hide the Epstein files forever so their beloved Israel wouldn't be exposed. Anyway, here's the editorial board, quote, the whole sordid exercise is a testament to the collapse of political trust and no one comes out looking good. Yes, the political trust has collapsed because a-holes like you go, don't release anything secret and nefarious to the American people. They're not to be trusted. They're all dirty anti-Semites. No, you hide all the evidence of all the wrongdoing by the powerful and you screw over the American people. I wonder why they lost political trust. I can't figure it out. I mean, really, is the Washington Post editorial board that stupid? Really, are you that mentally deficient that you can't figure out that that's why maybe people lost trust in the government? Because they keep hiding things like the Epstein files? The brain trust of the Washington Post got together, this is the editorial board. And they're like, what do you think? You think if we hide the Epstein files, they'll have more trust in the government? Oh, of course. You think if we hide the fact that Epstein was working with Israel, they'll trust the government more? Of course. Hide. And what are you in the business of? Journalism. Are you? Is that journalism? Hiding the dirty secrets of the powerful? Well, these days, that is what mainstream media does. That is what the Washington Post does. So it's not that surprising at all that they would think, yeah, that's our job, is to hide the crimes of the powerful and to help them crush the powerless. Okay, so they continue. The lone congressional objector, Representative Clay Higgins, has a point when he says the indiscriminate release abandons 250 years of criminal justice procedure in America and could result in innocent people being hurt. Absurd. They're like, oh no, the poor little innocent pedophiles. Oh, no. Oh, the kids who got raped, who cares about them? They're useless, they're irrelevant. We've already gotten all the use we need out of them. But the pedophiles, won't anyone protect the pedophiles? Now look, I understand what they're saying. Well, what if somebody was talking to Epstein or is in his book and his name gets released, but we don't know whether they did it or not? Well, first of all, we're gonna get the information, and so we're not that dumb that we see a name. For example, Donald Trump and Bill Clinton are already two names we know. Are we assuming for sure that they did it? Maybe partisans are, right? Oh yeah, I bet Trump did it, but Clinton didn't. I bet Clinton did it, but Trump didn't. That's partisan brain, right? But the rest of us get it. We don't know yet. We don't know if Trump did it. We don't know if Clinton did it. Maybe we'll get information that'll show or not. But we're not nearly as dumb as you guys are in the Washington Post editorial board. So we're not just gonna see a name and be like, oh, that's it, he definitely did it, right? And second of all, if you say that someone definitely did it and they didn't, they could sue you. Alan Dershowitz can't wait. He was in a segment with my co-host Anna Kasparian on LA Arabia, and he's like, oh, I can't wait to get the victims' names because we're gonna punish them, we're gonna sue them all, whoever says a wrong name. So he's already chomping at the bit. And it does, whether it's a wrong name or you don't have sufficient evidence to prove it, no, those billionaires can't wait to have somebody like Alan Dershowitz sue the victims. They're already lined up to do that. But the Washington Post board apparently didn't think about that. They don't know that that's possible. And who's abandoning criminal justice? Look, guys, think about this core issue, right? So they say, no, we should keep hiding the names because what if the pedophiles are harmed? Or what if one of them is not a pedophile, okay? Well, wait a minute. If you're in favor of justice, then why didn't you do an editorial about the government not prosecuting the actual pedophiles? So that's a great way for us to know who did it and who didn't do it. The government finds the people who did it and they prosecute them. And then the other ones, they say they didn't do it, we're not going to prosecute them. That's how justice would normally work. But no, the Washington Post says don't do any of that. And who cares that they didn't prosecute any of the guilty? Because we don't care about the kids who were raped. We don't care about them at all. We don't care about the American people. We don't care that Epstein is working with Israel. We don't care about any of that. All we care about is protecting the super powerful who are connected to Epstein. Gee, I wonder why. So the board argued that the bill is filled with loopholes. Wait, you don't want it released in the first place, so what do you care about the loopholes? Information that is released might not necessarily be incriminating. Again, we're not as dumb as you are. We can make that distinction. And according to both the FBI and the federal lead prosecutor in charge of negotiating Epstein's 2008 plea deal agreement, Epstein was the only one abusing children. Yeah, if you're an idiot, you believe that. But if you were a journalist, you'd go, well, is that really true? Let me investigate a little bit more. In fact, that's what Julie Brown did at the Miami Herald, and she did a fantastic job of realizing and showing and proving that no, the 2008 was a sweetheart deal. Epstein had committed way more rape than that. That case. Was adjudicated as, because they just gave him a plea deal and they let him go out and during the daytime, basically use the jail as a hotel. It was a disgusting deal, and that the corrupt prosecutor who did it was later rewarded and made a labor secretary randomly under Donald Trump in his first term. So, but they take that obviously corrupt deal, and the Washington Post is like, you see that proves the innocence. No, it proves that you're part of the corruption. It proves that you love to cover up the crimes of the powerful while pretending to be reporters and journalists. You're the exact opposite. And this is what we have to fix about our country. Our mainstream media is a joke. They don't do the news, they do propaganda. And apparently they do propaganda from time to time on behalf of foreign countries, on behalf of the powerful, on behalf of the donors. So they've been lying to us our whole life. Oh yeah, no, the politicians are honest. No, they're not. The politicians take money from Israel, from big pharma, from oil, from military industrial complex, and they serve those donors loyally. And the job of the Washington Post is to go and cover that up. They're the getaway driver in this crime, and their job is to cover up all of the evidence. No, don't give them the news, give them propaganda. Oh no, politicians are not affected by the millions of dollars that they get. When we talk about legislation, we are going to pretend they're having debates. We're not going to tell you that in reality, they all got paid by donors and voted with the donors approximately 100% of the time. And the legendary Washington Post, the actual publication where the adage came from, follow the money, during Watergate, says don't follow the money, don't follow evidence, hide all the evidence, and that's what real journalism looks like. No, it's an absolute piece of trash, and the whole point of that paper is to cover up the crimes of the powerful to make sure you never find out about it. I hope I was clear enough. What a ridiculous editorial board filled with obviously corrupt, disgusting people who are against the American voters and against American citizens. Now I think I'm even more clear. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.